guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my follow-up video to my goals video, reading goals video, and this is my serious about series. So this is going to be kind of a long video. There's, I'm going to talk about all the series that I want to focus on in the next year. I, of course, am following this from Elizabeth at Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I will have her video linked down below about her announcement for this year. I did not know about it last year. I wish I did, but I'm really up to working more on my series, and definitely I have so many series books. I really want to read a lot of them this year. So I have broken it up into the 2022, so 3 lists. One list of 20 that are all series that I want to continue or finish. So that's 20 books, 20 series. And then I have 20 books that are the first book in new series that I haven't read yet. So that's more. And then the 2 are 2 series that I want to make sure I focus on for sure this year, no matter what. So I'm going to start with the 2 because it's easy. We're going to go there. So Mistborn Era 2. This is the first book, The Alloy of Law, by Brandon Sanderson. This series I've never read. It continues on from Mistborn for many years afterwards. I think it's kind of like more Western inspired. I don't know if they're like mysteries or something, but anyway, the Wax and Wayne series, I believe. So I don't know, much about them. I just own them, the first 3 books. The 4th one is scheduled to come out in November of this next year. So I want to make sure I have all 3 read. I'll probably get the 4th one from the library, so I might not get it within this year, but at least I will have the 3 books read beforehand. That's what I hope to do, so that I can read that when I finally do get it from the library. And then the other series I want to work on is the Custard Protocol series by Gail Carriger. So this is a spin-off from the Parasol Protectorate series, which I just adore. I read Prudence when it first came out, and then I had to wait for the rest of the books. So I never got to them. So I want to reread Prudence and carry on. There's also 2 novellas that are more from the Parasol Protectorate series, but they're intermixed within these. And then there's a book that's the last book in the Finishing School series that also is kind of connected, and I have that book and I can't read it yet. So there's like 7 things I need to read for this. We'll reread 1 and read 6 others, but I really want to focus on this and get it done this year. That's my goal. So those are my 2 main focused ones. So then now because they're stacked in front of me, we're going to go with the list of 20 series I want to, that is the first book in the series. So these are books that I hope to pick up the first book and then decide if I want to continue the series or buy more of the series, because a lot of them I just own the first book. Anyway, so the first one I have is Jade City by Fonda Lee. It's the first book in the Greenbone saga. Everybody's talking about Jade Legacy right now that just came out, but I have not even started or tried Jade City, and I've had it on ebook for a couple of years, so I would like to do that. It's mafia fantasy, I guess. I don't know. Something about Greenbone or jade magic of some sort. And then the other one is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the first book in the Degava. I don't know how you say that. That word just won't come out of my mouth. Sorry. Trilogy. I just can't. Sorry. Anyway, so this is with Jinns. I think a con person was faking it, trying to call a djinn, and then they do. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, I don't know anything about this. Again, I have this series. Actually, I have all 3 of this on my Kindle, so I would like to read that. So those are the only 2 I had that were not physical. Everything else is physical, but I want to get those out of the way before I forgot. Anyway, so another one I'd like to read is The Emperor's Blades by Brian Staverly. This is the first book in the Chronicles of the Unhewn Throne. So this is fantasy about 3 siblings, I think, that are the Emperor's children. But I don't remember I don't know if something happens to the Emperor or there's war or something. But the 3 siblings have to make decisions and they all have different paths of what they want to do. I hear it's a really good series, and he's still writing in that world, so I want to definitely continue on. I have The Blade itself. let's see here. The Blade itself by Joe Abercrombie. And this is the first book in the First Law series. I've been wanting to try this. This is grimdark fantasy, really character driven, but I really want to try it. Upon a Burning Throne by Asa K. Banker is the first book in the Burnt Empire saga. And this is India inspired fantasy. All I know is about two princes and something happens or other. I don't know. I don't know a lot about it, but I definitely want to read it. Velocity Weapon by Megan E. O'Keefe is the first book in the Protectorate series, sci-fi space opera, I think. Anyway, I know it's about a woman who was in a ship I think she was in a battle, and she gets knocked out, and then when she comes to, it's 230 years later. So I don't know what happens in that one. The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne is the first book in the Bloodsworn series. So this is Norse, Norse fantasy kind of inspired. I did not like Malice, but I'm trying to give him a second chance on this series, so we'll see how this goes. Empire of Sand is the first book in the books of Ambra, I think is how it's said. Sorry, my white balance is going out. Sorry. Tasha Shuri. I wanted to try, I had this book. I also have The Jasmine Throne, but I put this on the list because I want to read this one first. This series is a duology, because I want to check out her writing. So, but I think it's like fantasy, like desert fantasy, I think. I think there's some magic involved, and I think there might be, I don't know if someone has to marry someone they're not supposed to. Sorry. Anyway, The Last Watch by J.S. Dews is sci-fi. I don't know how long this series is. Is it a duology or more? But it's a book of the Divide. Sorry, the novel of Divide. Sorry. This is not going well. It's the filming. I'm just trying to get this done. Sorry. There's snow outside. It's not fun. Anyway, so this is a group of like misfits who are sent to figure out, why that space is collapsing, or the universe is collapsing at some point, and they're the only ones who are able to save the world, to save the universe. I don't have a clue. The Tiger and the Wolf by Adrian Jakowski is the first book in the Echoes of the Fall series, and I know it has to do with shifters, and there's a woman who's born who is of the Tiger and the Wolf clan, like that's each of her parents, and she is able to shift both to Tiger and Wolf, which is very unusual, and I think she has to make a choice between the two, but decides to run away or something. I don't know. Not sure. Sounds good though. Catherine of Aragon, the True Queen, 6 Tudor Queens series by Alison Weir is one I've been wanting to pick up for quite a long time, about Henry VIII's wives. it just sounds so good I want to read her story. The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams, sorry. So this is the first book in the Winnowing something. Oh, I don't remember the name. And of course, it's never where I can find it. Oh, gosh. I don't know. The Winnowing Flame trilogy. So this is one I definitely want to pick up. I know a lot of people have been reading it recently, and I really want to get to it. All I know is it has flying creatures and it's fantasy. I don't know anything else. Black Coast by Mike Brooks is the first book in the God King Chronicles. So this one I actually own 2 books of, so I need to read this one before the 3rd book comes out to see if I even want to buy that one. And this has to do with 2 countries that were fighting each other across some water, and then one day the ones come across the water and they think, oh, it's going to be another war, but actually they're refugees because something's happening in their country, and I think it kind of spirals and it affects both sides. So I don't know. We'll see how that is. I have The Theft of Swords, the first volume of the Rhaenyra Revelations by Michael J. Sutherland. I can't talk today. Anyway, this one I've had on my shelf for quite a long time, so this one I want to at least read the first book, the first part of the bind-up, the first book, and that is The Crown Conspiracy. And then again, this has Hadrian and Royce in it, which is a duo that everybody talks about that I want to know more about them. And I think they get framed for something. So, and they're on the run or something. I don't know. The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood is the first book. I think it's a trilogy. I'm not sure. It's a series. But I don't know what the series name is. I couldn't find it on here, so I don't know what it is. But it has. I think it has to do with someone who is in a cult who is going to be sacrificed, and then at the last minute, someone comes and says, "Oh, you don't need to be sacrificed. Come with us, and we'll, do this instead." And then they go. I don't know, but it sounded good. I bought that a while ago. Oh, Pines, which is the first book in the Wayward Pines trilogy. So this is by Blake Crouch. I have never read anything by him, but I got this whole series. So I never watched I didn't watch the series, but I meant I know this is urban fantasy, and it has to do with this guy who goes to some town in Idaho, Wayward Pines, Idaho, and it's weird. I don't know, that's all I know. So I want to read that. The Lost Queen by Sigmund Pike I think this is historical fiction series, but it could be magical in some way. I'm not sure yet. I did try it one day and it was really good. I really want to get back to it. I didn't at the time. So this one follows two twins in 6th century Scotland, I think. And I think it has like a Merlin or an Arthur line to it. I'm not positive on that. The Wolf by Leo Carew is the first book in the Under the Northern Sky series. So I think the third book's coming out later this year. So I think this has to do with two different like species, like the humans and then like Neanderthal kind of people. I'm not quite sure, but it looks epic. Anyway, want to read that. Northern Wrath by Hild Cold Holt is the first book in the Hanged God trilogy. And this I think is like, Norse inspired fantasy, and I think it's just, gods and men fighting. I don't know. I don't know. I know the second book is already out, so there's that. And then the last one of the series, the first books I want to read in the series is Lake Silence by Anne Bishop. This is the first book in the World of the Others, which follows the Others series. Sounds funny, which is the first book is written and read and one of my favorite series of all time. But I've not continued on because this doesn't follow the same people and it's written differently. So I'm just like, I didn't get in. I tried it one day and I didn't get back to it. And I've always wanted to though, because book 3 is coming out this year. So I do want to at least read that one. Okay. So then we're going to go through, the series that I have started. And that I want to continue. So the first one is Breaking Badger by Sally Launceston. So this is the 4th book in the Honey Badger Chronicles. This is funny, hysterical paranormal romance with honey badger shifters, and this one has a tiger shifter in it as well as the love interest. I'm excited. The Devil You Know is book 2 in the Mercenary Librarians series. So this is a post-apocalyptic Atlanta, and I think it's romance, but it's also has a lot of action and adventure kind of stuff in it. So, and I want to read that one before the third book comes out this summer. So I want to continue The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. So this is the third book, Abaddon's Gate, and there's 9 books in the series plus I think the short story collection is coming out this year, so in print. So I do want to get to several of these this year at least, because I don't think I'm going to finish the whole series, but I'm definitely want to make progress in this. And this is space opera in our solar system in the future, and people are vying for different things on Earth and Mars and the moon and the belt. Anyway, the asteroid belt is pretty cool. And then I also would like to revisit or get back to the Black Jewels series by Anne Bishop. So Daughter of the Blood I read, I think it's 2 years ago now. And I meant to continue on pretty soon afterwards, and I just did not. This book is now like 8 or 9 books in the series. So I just have the trilogy in a bind up, and then I have a couple other books. But I might need to reread it. This is very dark fantasy, and very, just very dark. Anyway, I don't know how to say this. But I do want to get back and finish and get farther into that. Let's see here. Let's move these around so I can do this. So I would also like to finish the Thomas Cromwell series by Harry Mantel, which is The Mirror and the Light. I read probably about a third of this. I might have to restart it because, again, it was during the pandemic, like the beginning part, so I don't remember a whole lot of what I read. But I'd like to finish this series. It's very good historical fiction on Thomas Cromwell and Henry VIII and all that stuff. The D'Artagnan romances. Well, this is just plaguing me. I need to finish this book. So this is, again, one of my high priorities in the next month. But I would really like to read more than just one this year. So again, the D'Artagnan romances start with the Three Musketeers. This is book 3, the Vicomte de Broglie, and I'd like to read at least one more this year. We'll see. Anyway, they're all pretty chunky, and they're all adventure in the 1600s. And following D'Artagnan and Artemis and Porthos and Athos. I don't know why that blanked out there for a second. Anyway, again, love that series. I need to get back to that one. So the second book in the Aisha series, which follows She, which is the first book written in the 1880s. And then he continued on into the this is 1905 or so when he returned to the series. And this is Aisha, The Return of She. So that's the second book. Anyway, this is by H. Rider Haggard. So I wanted to find out what happens. The first book, I really, really enjoyed it. Totally went in directions I didn't expect. And the adventure was really fun. So I really want to continue and see what happens with that. One of the books I need to reread a few to get back into the series is the Jack West Jr. series by Matthew Riley. Six Sacred Stones is the next one I need to reread. I also need to read the one after this before I can continue on with the series. There are 7 books total, so book 2 I need to reread and book 3. So they're really outrageous adventures with a lot of historical elements and booby traps. It was just fun. Which I need to get back to that. Another one I'm rereading is the Destroyer Man series by Taylor Anderson. So I have reread the first 2 books. I need to reread 3 and 4 and then continue on. This is a 15-book series, alternate history, about a group or a pair of destroyers in World War II that get sucked into a storm in the Java Sea and go to an alternate Earth where evolution went a different route. Anyway, I really enjoy this. It's one of my favorite cast ensembles in any books. Need to get back to that. Geist by Philippa Ballantine is the first book. I think it's a 4-book series. I'm not sure. I have to double check this. But this is the Book of the Order. Geist is the first one. And I read this a really long time ago and collected the other books and just never finished. So I want to go back and read this one. I know that the main character has, she's in some kind of order and has some power. And she's supposed to help someone, I think, who's cursed or something. But I don't remember what happens. I have only a vague memory of one scene. And I'm like, I need to reread this. So this, again, I'm hoping to do that. Another book, another series where I had the first book where I've read this first book several times, actually. Burn for Me is the first book in the Hidden Legacy series. The first trilogy follows the 2 characters who are in this one, and then it continues on to the main character's sister. In the last 3, and the 6th book in the series is, or the 3rd book in that second trilogy is supposed to come out sometime this year, I think. Anyway, but Burn for Me is the first book in the Hidden Legacies, and I've read this 3 times, and I've never continued on, and I don't know why, because I really love the characters. Main character is a private investigator who hides what magic she has, and then the other guy is one of the most powerful magic users in this time frame, and he is crazy. I love him. Anyway, and there's a mystery and everything. They're fun urban fantasies. And it's like I think they're in Texas, but I can't remember where for sure. I'm not positive, but it's like magic. Magic is in the world and stuff. So I like that book. Anyway, I need to read it again so I can continue on. The Argano Vampire series by Lindsay Sands. I have just one more to reread before I can continue the series. Immortal Hunters, the last one I need to reread. This is book 12. So there's like 30 some books. So they're just fun vampire romances. They're just cute. I love those books. I'd like to finish the Discworld series. I put this off after he passed away. I stopped reading, and so I have like 5 books left. I think this is 44. So I do want to pick some of these up and try to get through them. It's so sad that there aren't any more. So I think that's why I stopped. So I need to get back and finish the last of those. October Day is another one where I read the first book this series, and then I didn't continue. This is by Seanan McGuire. I really liked this by the end. I think it was a slow start for me, but I really wanted to start the next book, and then I got distracted, and I meant to. So I think this one I might have to either skim or reread to get back to get into the second book, but I'm not positive. But I do want to do this. This is like fays and other creatures in San Francisco. Urban fantasy. Another urban fantasy is the Peter Grant series, which is Rivers of London series. And Broken Homes is the 4th book, so I haven't got very far. I need to read more of these. I have most of them. And we follow Peter, who is a police officer who starts seeing things. So he had some weird things. So he gets put into a department that deals with the supernatural stuff there. And I really like this series. I just need to get back to it. A Touch of Stone and Snow is the 2nd book in A Gathering of Dragons by Milla Vane. This book I've had on my shelf for a little bit because I was waiting for the 3rd book to come out in this trilogy, but it's been delayed, so I think it's coming out this summer. Anyway, so I do want to read this. It'd probably be a good time to read it in the winter, like right now when it's snowing. Anyway, the point is that this is a dark fantasy barbarian romance. So I liked the first book. I need to continue. Another one I need to continue is the Mackenzie and Mr Bride historical romance series by Jennifer Ashley. The Stolen Mackenzie Bride is the next one that I need to read. I think it's book 8, but this one it goes back in time, so it doesn't follow all the characters I love in this series. So this has really why it's been a sticking point and why I've had this on my shelf for like 6 years and I haven't read it yet. So I need to do that. I need to get past the 3 books that are in the past to get back to the present ones that I like. So this is 1745 Scotland. In this one, the other ones are all the end of the Victorian age, like in the 1890s. So anyway, this Scotland. I need to read this. I also like to continue the Witcher series with Blood of Elves. I've read the short story collections, both of those now, so I do want to continue and get to the novels. We'll see how that goes. Another fantasy series I need to read a few to get back into is the Crown of Stars series by Kate Elliott. The first book is King's Dragon. So this is an epic 7-book series that I read 2.5 books of, and then some reason stopped in the middle of the 3rd book because my characters were being hurt and I was upset and I never came back to it and I regret it completely. So this is a very epic, I would say it was also dark things going on. There's a lot of things happen in the first couple books. But a lot of political stuff and action as well. So anyway, I really enjoyed them the first time around. I just need to get back to it and reread the first 2 books and get into the 3rd again. And then the last one I would like to complete this year would be the Sherlock Holmes series. I have so close. I have just the novel, the Valley of Fear left, plus 2 collections, which is His Last Bow and the Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. So after I read those, I've read all the Sherlock Holmes and I'll be so excited. So I'm closing in on the end, so I would like to finish that. I have this on audio by Stephen Fry, so I think that's really the only one I have on audio in this group, but that's it. So those are all the series that are on my list that I want to focus on this year. Again, all of these, they're all calling to me all at the same time, and I can't do it all. So if there are any of these series that you just love and you think that I should focus on those, let me know. As I said, I have 3 times as many of these series that I've started and books I want to start in new series that are on my shelf that I have not even gotten to. I would like to do them all. But I had to limit my list to this, and I still think I'm going to pick up books in other series that, because there's certain books I didn't put on this list that I probably should have that I probably will pick up. But these are the ones I put on here. So if there's any here you think I should read, let me know, or definitely focus on, let me know. And let me know if you're doing serious about series, because I am super serious this year about getting through a lot. Even if it's not all these ones, I'll be tracking it anyway to see how well I do. So we'll see how it goes. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.